Hi there, welcome. My name is Amanda, but you can call me Mandy, and I run, own, and operate Mandy's Essential Musings, and I am a doTERRA wellness advocate. Today I want to talk about my business, where I'm at, and how I'm doing. And I also really want to talk about motivation because this is something that I have been struggling with since I started working the business. Now, if you've been watching these in order, you know that I bought in to doTERRA over 2.5 years ago, and I bought in as a wellness advocate, and then I never signed anybody up. And at the beginning of this year, with the worldwide pandemic, I lost my job like a lot of other people. And I decided, why not try to do something about it instead of sitting at home and, feeling bad about myself? What could I do, and what tools did I have available to make myself feel better? So I started using oils. And I had them, and I was using them anyways to help me with other things going on in my life. So I started to use them to help me with my emotions. And then I was like, I've always wanted to do something with this business. Why haven't I? So I called my mentor and I asked her, all right, what do I do now? And it was so great. Honestly, it gave me something to focus on and keep moving forward. And as I started back at work and other things in my life started to happen, I started to let things slip. So a couple weeks ago, when I started posting these videos again, so it was probably about mid-June, I was like, all right, I'm doing this. And that was the end of June, so June 23rd. It's now July 18th and July 19th technically, because it's 1:40 in the morning. But I decided that I was going to do something with this. So what has been stopping me is motivation. And honestly, I'm stopping myself. And there is progress that I can make, but I'm not allowing myself to do it. So that is something that I've been talking to my mentor about, and we've been having some serious discussions about what I can do to stop getting in my own way. And we started doing weekly strategy sessions. So if you are on my team, I highly recommend this, especially if you are working the business. If weekly strategy sessions are too much for you to do in your life just because of everything that's going on, I totally get it. So we could do bi-weekly strategy sessions or monthly strategy sessions. Something that works for you in your life and how you're building your business, because you may not be building your business like I am. I'm trying to build it as fast as possible. I don't want to say it like that. I, want to get to the very top very quickly, because I honestly don't want to say don't care about being super successful, but I'm trying to build off of momentum. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to build off of my momentum. And I've noticed that when I start doing one thing and adding to it, that I am more successful. And the less I do, the less successful I am. And even if I have people reaching out to me asking for samples or more about oils, unless I decide to continue that conversation and decide to continue to reach out with them, they will stop talking to me and they will no longer be interested. And not that they'll no longer be interested, but they'll go somewhere else, or they'll forget about it. So it's really interesting to see how my motivation can affect others with oils, and even my follow-up. So there are tools in place. If you've been watching these videos, you know that. You know that I highly recommend doing the daily mentor calls, which I'll link down below. And then there are other things. So doTERRA, and this is kind of what got me started thinking about this, is someone reached out to me. Well, actually, I reached out to someone, talking to them about the oils. It was someone that my boyfriend sampled, and he showed interest. So I reached out to him today to ask him if he wanted to learn more and how I could help. And he's someone that I'm friendly with. And so what I decided to do was put together some of the doTERRA guides for him. So I have a ton of these. And it's because I've been planning on building the business and haven't. So, yeah. So what I did was put together a little like packet for him, and he is curious about the business side of the oils. So I took the build guide, which you can buy on the doTERRA website. I think these are only a couple of dollars. And then as for the live guide, I think you can get like 10 of these for pretty cheap. And then you can also buy the class in a box, and that's fairly decently priced as well. So this guide is the doTERRA build guide. And if you're building and you're not familiar with it, go get it. You can download it from the doTERRA website for free, or you can purchase it. I like having a physical copy, but honestly, it really doesn't matter like which copy you have, because it's helpful for both. But what I did in his guide, this is actually my guide, so I have notes on it. But what I did in his guide is I wrote down what like each thing is and what it means, and asked him to do something with each like step of it. So there's a part that breaks down the compensation plan, so I just asked him to read it. And then a couple of the last pages ask you like, what are your goals in life? It would be, that is such a bad, sorry. It would be these 2 pages. And it talks about like what your goals in life are. Do you want to be debt free? Do you want time freedom? Do you want self-improvement? Do you want to travel? Do you want education? Like, what do you want from your life? And it doesn't even necessarily mean oils, because doTERRA can 100% give you all of these things. But if you're looking for a better mindset and self-improvement, like those aren't things that you'll necessarily find in the business, but there are tools that people in the business can lead you towards. And saying that, like, I've been working on meditation, which is never something I thought I'd say, but that is something that my mentor is encouraging me to do. And so I am, and I'm not good at it, but I'm thinking about starting another channel. So if you guys want to follow my meditation journey, please do. But anyways, I was taking this guide and writing notes for him, and writing some other notes for him, because he works with my boyfriend tomorrow, and so I'll drop those off to him. And I've also put him in, well, he's put himself in our team study that's coming up coming up on Monday, which is 2 days from now. And he's interested in the business, so I wanted to give him some tools to help him figure out exactly what he wants before we enroll him, because I can enroll him as a wellness advocate, or Nick can enroll him as a wellness advocate. That's something we'll discuss in another video. But if he really wants to do this business, I want him to know what the business is before we throw him into it. I didn't know what the business was, and so it took me so long to decide what I wanted to do with it, because I was afraid. I didn't know what I was doing. and I didn't know who to ask. And it's because I didn't feel like I could ask the people above me, which is ridiculous. But my sister enrolled like the day before me, so she didn't have experience in this business either. And then a family member enrolled us. And so I don't want business to come in the way of family, so I never really asked. And I got excited on my own, and I bought things, and I tried to sample, but I didn't know the process in which to build this business. And so one of the things that I purchased, oh, did I put it away? Oh, no, I didn't. Sorry, guys. I have a mess all over this office. One of the things I purchased when Oil Games started was this. This is the Back to Basic guide. And I believe it's by Elise and Patrick Shedevy. Yes, it is by Elise and Patrick Shedevy. And they're the ones who run Oil Games and who do the daily mentor calls. And so I purchased this. And this is a breakdown of how to be successful in the business. And it's really awesome because it just goes through, it goes in conjunction with the daily mentor calls. And then it tells you how to get started, and then the effective things that you need to do to build your business. And effective sampling is the first thing. I'm going to do a whole different video on effective sampling. It's something that I already tried to record and it didn't work out, so I will need to film a different video. Because as of right now, I don't know how to effectively sample, and I don't know how to effectively follow up, and I think it really shows. I have given out, I had a number. I think I've probably given out over 20 personal samples in the last 2 months, and I haven't enrolled anyone. Now before that, I enrolled 4 people, none of whom I sampled. All of them knew about the oils. 3 of them were related to me, and all 4 of them had used the oils before, whether it was through me or they purchased oils from someone else and they wanted to create their own accounts and get started. And 3 of those people signed up as wellness advocates. And one of the things that detoured me is I'm reaching out to these people that I sampled, these 20 different people that I've sampled over the last 2 months, and I'm not getting the responses I want. I'm inviting them to classes, but no one's really responding, and so I'm getting detoured, and I'm like, well, if I can't sign anybody up, what's the point of doing this business? And if I'm struggling and sinking money into this, what's the point if I'm not making money doing this? Like, unfortunately, I can't put the cost out because if you're sampling that many people, you know how expensive it gets so quickly with the sample bottles and whatever you're putting it in, whether you're putting it in a bag or a box, whether you're shipping it to them, whether you're having them pay shipping or not. I'm not. At this point, I might change my mind later. It's just, I don't know. It's just something, There's so much. And because of those things and my state of mind going back to work and not having the time to put into this business and my personal health being a factor, which is the reason I found the oils in the first place, I stopped for a couple of weeks and was like, I don't know what to do. And so I stopped doing anything. And I stopped posting on social media, and that was for other reasons. There's a lot of things going on in the country right now, and I didn't feel right posting, and that lost my momentum because posting on social media helped me to get in contact with people and to be moving forward and figuring out, what do I need with my business, and what can I do to keep moving forward, and all of this amazing things. And so I was so excited, and I just kept building off of this momentum. And then I stopped posting on social media and I lost my momentum. So what am I going to do to keep my momentum up? It's a great question. First off, I'm going to continue reaching out to those people. There are people who took samples from me for a reason, and the people that did had positive benefits when they were talking to me about it. So I know that money is a factor, or the belief in the oils is a factor, or whatever is a factor. So I'm going to keep reaching out to those people, and I'm going to make sure that they're in my Facebook or Instagram business pages so they can see what I'm posting, and so they can see what I'm doing, and if they're interested, they can tell me that they're interested. I've heard a lot of stories of people, having a rough patch and not signing anyone up, and just keep talking to them about it, and every so often reaching out to them and going from there. So I need to figure out like an effective spreadsheet, because if I'm going to keep sampling people like that, I need to have an effective way of tracking it, and an effective, what did they tell me, what helped them, what didn't help them. Maybe I continue sampling them. I do have some people that I've sampled more than once, and have played with oils more than once. And I think that's helpful too, because if you're only sampled one or two things and you don't like either of them, or the one you're given, I think that's a huge effect on whether you're going to purchase it or not. Like fennel, for some reason people hate fennel, but if I sample someone fennel because they're having some stomach issues and they absolutely hate fennel, it's because fennel reminds them of black licorice, and a lot of people have a lot of opinions about black licorice. But it's really interesting to see like people's responses to that. And if I'm sampling them that and they don't want to try it, well, that's a really like a not fair representation of everything we offer. So I need to set a schedule for myself. I'm really bad at scheduling. And it's something that's talked about so much, is figuring out an effective schedule. And I need to look at my time and just be able to plop time in where I have it. With the oil games, we're supposed to be reaching out to two new people every day, to see if they might be interested in samples. Well, that one's really interesting, because that's super hard to do, especially if you reach out to someone and they ignore you, and you continue to reach out. Like, I live in a world where I don't have phone numbers. I have Facebook, friendships, and most people, especially when they're not in my age group, don't typically respond to those. Something that I've been learning lately. And when I'm meeting people through Facebook or through Instagram, because I'm building my business online that way, they're not necessarily giving me the information I need to reach out to them. A phone number, for one. I had someone I sampled 2 months ago who didn't give me a phone number, and I have a hard time reaching out to her. She'll respond via Facebook Messenger, but sometimes it's just hard using Facebook Messenger, because I like to plan text messages. If this is something you're interested in, maybe I can do a video. And I don't know if it's possible to do on iPhone, but there's a way to schedule text messages on the Android operating system, which is fantastic, because it's currently 2 a.m. So I'm not texting anybody at 2 a.m. But if my brain's going and I want to work on the business, I can schedule text messages to go out at 9 a.m. or 2 p.m. tomorrow, whatever time is effective for people. And that is fantastic. I can reach out to them, see how they're doing. Hey, can we schedule a call for later? I've done that a couple of times where I've reached out to people and asked to schedule a call for later in the day. That doesn't always work for me, especially with my generation, because they're like, oh, why don't you just tell me about it now over text messages? But I've also been becoming a huge fan of voice memos. I never really understood those before, but they're so great. And they're so easy because it's literally like you recording a little message for someone, and they can open it whenever they want, and you're not making a phone call, so you may not actually talk to them, and they can listen to it. So that's great. But I think those are things that I need to do to keep myself motivated and to keep myself moving forward. I also need a clean workspace. So that is something that I am working on. I do have a lot of things that I have been purchasing for the business. And keeping all of that straight is really hard. A lot of my mentors and uplines have their own office spaces in their homes, or they have their own workspace. I don't really have that. My workspace is a corner of my bedroom right now. That might change, and when it does, you'll definitely see a change in scenery. As of right now, we're currently in my boyfriend's office, so I can film a video at 2 a.m. But those are some things that I'm going to work on for keeping myself motivated. And as I said, I also started weekly mentor calls with my mentor. So that is something that I encourage you to do as well. And as I said, maybe weekly won't work for you, but find things that work for you and use that to your advantage. So posting on social media is working for me, and trying to figure out a decent schedule is working for me. And scheduling text messages is working for me, because when I'm motivated, I will schedule those messages and they will send when I'm not motivated or when I'm working, which is fantastic because I can take a 15-minute break and these people will have responded to me. So I can, hey, do you have a quick second so we can talk, or whatever. If I want to try to reach out to someone who I haven't been speaking to, because we're adults and we all have those friendships, I can do that through text messages and be like, hey, do you have a quick second so we can talk? I don't want to be one of those people who calls their friend up after years and hey, I have this thing. Oh my God, I was thinking of you. Maybe I am thinking of them. And honestly, all the people that I'm reaching out to that are friends of mine, I am, because I know what these oils have done for me, and I'm thinking of you and I want to help you, but I don't want to be annoying with it. And I don't want to be I want to talk to you about your life and let's get back to talking again. And, oh, by the way, I have oils. That's not really fair to our friendship. So that's one of the other things I'm struggling with. And that's one of the things that keeps me from being motivated, because I don't want my friends to feel like I'm using them. I just realized that my bag of crackers in the background is really annoying. I'm sorry, guys. Those are my gluten-free crackers on top of the mini fridge in the kitchen. Anyways, but I'm going to try to use those things to keep me motivated and keep me moving forward, because if I am getting annoying to my friends, I feel like they're friends enough to let me know. And most of the time when I reach out, hey, I'm so sorry. I just, I had someone I sampled over a week ago, and I've talked to her 3 or 4 times since I sampled her, and she has trouble sleeping. And so I gave her a couple of oils for sleeping and a couple of things to play with and try, and she hasn't used them yet, which is okay, I totally get. And she's I've been busy and I've been stressed, and I'm girl, I gave you lavender. Use it. But when people don't know what they have at their fingertips, it's hard to be able to use something foreign. And so that's one of the reasons I want to keep reaching out to people to see if they're comfortable. But those are just the starting steps for me. I know that this is going to be something that I continue to struggle with, which is why the weekly mentor, I'm calling them strategy sessions. My weekly strategy sessions with my mentor will be extremely helpful for me. And that's also why oil games has been really good for me. Even if I'm not on top of everything with oil games, I am having someone that I can reach out to. And you're supposed to have 2 to 3 people you can reach out to. Unfortunately, I just have one. But she's amazing. And if you're watching these, you know you're amazing. But listening to someone who's also struggling and who's been doing this longer or just as long as you have, and being able to give each other advice and to learn from each other is incredible. And that's helping me stay motivated. So I'm just going to keep trucking along and keep working on the business and keep learning. I definitely know I'm not doing things right, but I'm figuring out what is right for me. And even if I fail, there are things that I can learn and there are things that I can do. So that's good. Alrighty. I'm going to end this and hopefully call it a night. And those of you who made it to the end, thank you for watching. And if you are building with doTERRA, please know that no matter what you're struggling with and no matter what you need to learn, that there are people out there to help. And honestly, there's so much information out there. So just start picking it up and learning it and going one step at a time at your own pace. And eventually, whatever your pace is, you'll find greatness if you keep going. And just keep going, because I know you can do it. And I know you can do it because I'm doing it. And I have a goal, and one day I really hope to get there. All right. I will talk to you in the next one, and I hope you guys have a wonderful evening.